Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a grade distribution using a pivot table. So to start out, I made up some fake data. I picked a number 3465 to start as my beginning student ID, and then I added 3 all the way down to add about 200 students. Then I decided to add some class names, so I have algebra, chemistry, psychology, and then I finished with leadership just to kind of break it up a little. To come up with the grades, I added a random function and I told Excel to pick a number from 0 to 4. That way this can represent A, B, C, D, F. I didn't put any plus minus in here. I'm just trying to show that I made up the grades and I'm not using any real data. After I had it do the random numbers, I gave it a little if statement to turn all of those numbers into grades so that we could have some random grades to use an example, but you would get the grades, of course, from your grade book or maybe from BI if you have a lot of grades that you're looking through. So I'm just going to duplicate these, kind of get rid of this random function. I'm going to paste them in here as numbers, that way they're not going to change anymore for me, and we'll make them a little bigger. I don't need the number column anymore, so I'm just going to delete it. Now we're ready to go to the pivot table. For simplicity, just to kind of show you what I'm doing, I'm going to highlight all of the numbers, and this will help you see how many data values I have. So I highlighted the 3 columns, and I'm going to hit Insert, and then it says Pivot Table Recommended. I'm just going to go Pivot Table, and we'll pick our own. So we are picking from this table range. It's telling you the cell references, and you say, okay, we want this in a new worksheet to work with. So if we just wanted to overall know the grade distribution for all of the grades, I could hit Grade, which will tell us the types of grades we have. And notice that it put the grade in the rows. So when I look at the fields, it has filters, columns, rows, and then the sum of values. So right now we have rows that are the columns. I'm going to grab the grade again, and I'm going to drag it to the sum. What this does is, see, it says it's the count of the grades. So now I know how many A's, how many B's, C's, D's, and F's were earned by these fake students. I'm going to go back to the grade, and I'm going to again add it to the sum of values column. So now I have these duplicated columns. The reason I'm doing that is I want to be able to hold on to the original counts, but I'm also going to do percentages in the next column. So I'm going to go to the first one, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say Show Values As, and I'm going to hit percent of column total. This then tells me that 25% of my fake students had A's, 18.5% had B's, 19% had C's, 18.5% had D's, and then 19% had F's. So now I can see the distribution for all of the grades for all of the courses at once. I unclicked all the options so I can show you a second thing you could do. This time I'm first going to put the class. So you'll be able to see each class listed. And then I'm second going to click the grade. I did it this way because I want to separate the class with the grades, not the grade from the class. Let me show you what that means. If I drag the class underneath, it would do the grade and all the classes, but I want to see the distribution overall by the class. So the order of the rows makes a big difference. After that, I'm going to drag the grade over to the sum value. This will tell me how many of each type of grade was earned in the class. This also shows me how many people were in each of the courses. So it says 45 in algebra, 56 in chemistry, 18 in leadership, and 81 in psychology. If I want to see the distribution as a percentage, I'll again drag the grade down to the sum value a second time. Then I'll go over and right click on the value, and I'm going to say Show Value As. Now, last time we said Show Value As percent of the column total. That's not what I want to do this time. This time, I want Excel to recognize that I have chunks of data in my column. So I'm going to say, I want to show the percent of the parent total. It's going to ask me, what is your parent? So the parent here is the class. That way it'll separate algebra, chemistry, leadership, psychology, and I say okay. Now I can see the distribution of grades for each course. In algebra, 22.2% of the students made it A, B, C. We can see 15.56 with a D and 17.78 with an F. If I were looking through to see which course had the highest failures, we could look at 17.78 F, 14.29% F, 5.56% F, and then this 25.93% F in the psychology course, which says we might need to go back and review the psychology course and look for ways to improve the success for students.